Hey everybody, and welcome to another Friday News Roundup here at Bamsters. My name is Reshin, but hey, you can call me G, and it's been a couple of weeks since the last Friday episode, due to all the gaming conventions, and we're keeping this one short and sweet. This week might have been dominated by the Nintendo Direct shows, but we'll also talk Bioware, vinyls, and a foldable phone. Starting with Bioware, Casey Hudson of Bioware did another update on everything they're doing, or at least things he can talk about. There was of course bits about Anthem and Cataclysm, which looks like it's taking the game in the right direction and getting players engaged. But looking online, there's still a lot of skepticism surrounding the long-term viability of the game, and fears of EA pulling the plug. Something Casey unfortunately didn't address outside of saying there's a vision and plans for the future, and expressing love for the game. One thing to get excited about is that Star Wars: The Old Republic's next expansion is coming along nicely, with Onslaught still coming this fall, and delivering an adventure spanning several new areas including 2 new planets, a return to Corellia, plus a new and updated itemization system. If seeing the Old Republic still getting updates doesn't warm your heart, it should at least tell you that Bioware does know how to keep a game running for 8+ years. And finally, Hudson does throw us a bone by saying that the Dread Wolf does indeed rise. And we've not much covered the recent resurrection/desecration of TellTale Studios because of all the concerns surrounding this. But one thing related to TellTale has come up that needs some attention. The Walking Dead, the TellTale series soundtrack, is getting released on 4 LPs, fittingly one for each season. I've not had a record player since the mid-90s and honestly long thought them dead and gone, but in recent years, more and more LPs are getting released, and especially the soundtracks from games and movies are finding their way onto the old vinyl. And if you are a fan of The Walking Dead, this might just be the thing to get. You can get the 4 LPs separately in gorgeous sleeves, or pre-order all 4 for a nifty 10% discount. And I'm gonna stop there, cause otherwise this is starting to sound like an ad. During the recent Nintendo Direct presentation, a first batch of 20 classic SNES games was shown off and will be made available in the Nintendo Online library. The games include Super Metroid, The Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past, Star Fox, and Super Mario Kart, which should definitely be able to trigger those nostalgic pangs in people, and more titles are promised to be added. No actual release date was given, so keep an eye on the big end for more on this. Alongside the SNES games, there's naturally a wireless SNES controller, coming in at 30 beer tokens, to ensure that you can tap into that motor memory of ages past. And if you have Twitch Prime, you can, right now, nab a 3-month subscription to Switch Online, which includes access to the SNES titles, and then after 60 days you can head back to claim another 9 months, all for free. The base price for Switch Online is 20 bacon bits for a year, or 35 for the family pack, well below Sony and Microsoft fees. And it isn't Nintendo Direct without a pile of slightly more modern games to be shown, so here's a really quick and incomplete recap. Overwatch is coming to Nintendo October 15th. Trials of Mana hitting the platform next year, April 24th. Return of the Obra Dinn is coming to the Nintendo Switch this autumn. Little Town Hero from Game Freak is also launching October 15th. And every game character ever is apparently showing up in Smash. Yay! Expect Drag to have more on each of these in the near future and in every single upcoming games on the Rated R show. One Switch game Drag probably won't be mentioning, because it's a horror game, is Deadly Premonitions Origins. It originally released on the Xbox 360 back in 2010, and now available on the Switch eShop alongside its sequel, and in November as a collector's edition physical release, including a very nice and reportedly high quality set of pin badges housed in a display box. Deadly Premonition holds the Guinness World Record for the most critically polarizing survival horror game ever. So if you haven't played this cult classic, now's the time. Or November, if you want the physical release. And wrapping up Nintendo Direct, the biggest announcement from the online show was of course that TickTock: A Tale for Two was shown for about 8 seconds, revealing that the beloved game is coming to the Switch this autumn. Over in tech news, Samsung is showing off an updated version of their $2,000 and not yet released foldable phone, which should fix most of what ailed the original design. The Verge went hands-on with it and report that it feels better, and that despite trying repeatedly to peel off the protective sheath covering the screen, failed due to how it's now layered under the bezel. Oddly enough, they don't report on whether Samsung were okay with these attempts. The device also feels sturdier, and the giant gap that used to be present when folded has been trimmed, but the reporter forgot to bring pocket sand for testing. Check out Verge's coverage for more details though, and it's good to see that foldable phones are moving forward, even though I'd personally prefer one that folded outwards instead of inwards, to use it as a regular but thick phone when I don't need or want the larger screen. And then was some of Friday news from this past week. Don't forget to check back every Monday and Friday for a little roundup, and leave a comment on Fridays if you want to try and win a random game key for Steam. Also check out Wednesday's episodes of the Rated R Show, especially next week if you're into building stuff. Ciao!